6 a.m. Pretty good night's sleep, not too bad. This little fella though jostles around a bunch, and yeah, but it was all right. Not too cold, and looking forward to a good sunset here. Gonna do a time lapse and see how that comes out. I like doing time lapses. And kind of funny thing is, I guess I is that crooked? Take these time lapses and really all these photos and everything, but rarely ever look at them. You know, do you do that? You have like over 50,000 photos. Hey, get away from the cliff. Come on. Get over here. Yeah, it's just too much. I just wonder, like, do you see like the tourists, you know, that are just like taking pictures of everything, and it's like, how are you really gonna look at all those? Yeah, I don't know. To each their own. Yeah, sun's gonna come up right behind me here, and so there's a lot of clouds, so maybe it won't be that good. Maybe it'd be awesome. We'll see. So yesterday, about, as you maybe saw, about 10 minutes into my solitude kind of endeavor, another plane comes up, right? Which was really cool, and nice people. But it was just kind of funny, like 10 minutes into that. And then after I sit down, and I've kind of got everything set up, and, you know, you're just kind of rustling around and you're constantly, you know, creating like a ruckus, really, I guess, if you kind of, because once you sit down and then it's just still and it's calm and you're quiet and you're kind of just with your thoughts, you realize like how much, you know, kind of disturbances you make, but so you're more aware of what's going on. And within about 10 minutes of that, I hear this unmistakable like pop, and it's not a noise I've ever heard before, but it's like I knew immediately when I heard it what it was. And yeah, it was this. Let's see if you can see that. See that? Yeah, there was already one crack there. Now there's two. Where's it at? Can you see this? Yeah, there's two cracks. This is a ovation. My other video, I showed you another ovation. This was the one that made me get that one. But I guess ovations are pretty known for cracking on their top like that. This is in 1983, originally from New Jersey. I bought it in Maui, and it made it all those years. Was it 40 years it made it until I got it and then bring it back to the desert, and it cracked. And then last night it cracked again. But it still sounds good, and it's all right. I don't mind. This is kind of the guitar I take if I go camping or houseboat or something like that, and it kind of takes some abuse, but it's still a nice guitar. You can see on camera there. Yeah. It's about 7 o'clock. Did I say that? So we got all day. See what happens. Yeah. Okay. 7:30. Took a little walk down the runway. Just get a different view. Beautiful out here. I think that's the Pierce Ferry Rapids is out here. The river kind of took a shift. It created like some rapids out here. During the drought, I guess. I think it got rerouted. I have to bring my neighbor out here. He's a geologist. Knows all about this stuff. Rather than me researching and regurgitating this stuff, get you some people that really know what they're talking about. So there's something down here which just doesn't seem like it belongs. I don't know what's going on there. It's just rock. The way it's shining, the shape of it. Different. This dog's still got a little bit of a limp, so I don't really want to take him too far, but it seems like when he's resting, then he kind of favors it even more. But once he's exercising, I think it's a little bit better. Tell me again why I don't do this more frequently. It's beautiful. I'm an idiot. I completely forgot why I was here and what I was doing. As I'm trying to think of like, how to occupy my time, I'm making him, putting on sunscreen because the sun's out. And, just put it this way. Neutrogena didn't just call me because they wanted to do they wanted me to be their skin model, because my skin is terrible and I could see that in the videos, and it is what it is. But part of it is acne when I was a kid, and the other part is sun damage. So I try to cover up as much as possible and use sunscreen. And so as I'm using this sunscreen, I'm looking at it and I'm looking at all of this stuff, like what is all that stuff? And then right underneath all these things that nobody could pronounce, it says questions. And I'm like, well, I got lots of time to kill, so I call it and I have a conversation with the lady about the ingredients. There's a boat down there. I don't know if you can see that. And then I realized, like, afterwards, I was like, what the hell? I'm not supposed to talk to anybody. So I kind of screwed that up. But, I was going to have to kind of cut it early anyhow, because that plane came in and cut it kind of late towards sunset, and I'm getting a little concerned about this guy. He's limping a lot. So I don't want him to have to suffer anymore because of my stupid challenge. While I'm here, I've been here a handful of times and camped and stuff and whatever. But this realtor sign has always been down there, and I think I might go down and get it. But I worry about the dog following me down, and he's got a bit of a limp still. So anyhow, I guess I can say that it's not a failure at all. But yes, if I'm trying to go 24 hours without any human contact, not even close. Did I make it halfway? I think I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, No, I didn't even make it 12 hours. I don't think. Yeah, I did. One thing I always try to do when I'm out and about is to pick up trash. But one thing I also always do is forget a trash bag. So, but I do have a question though. At what point do these cans go from trash to artifacts? You know, like these cans. I'll just leave these because they're that old and whatever. But that doesn't really make any sense, you know? I mean, they're really nothing different. They're just older. Yeah, I don't know. Here's the sign. Praising. A. Adams Realty? Appraising? 602-564-2377. Well, as long as I've already ruined the challenge, we're talking to Sunbum on the phone about their ingredients. Might as well call Adams about their property for sale here too. Too much time on my hands. If you're watching this and you've got something productive for me to do, it's not that I don't have anything to do. It's just right now I've got a lot of time. Yeah, maybe that's a good thing, is to make yourself some time every now and again to do nothing. Do you ever schedule nothing time for yourself? I just did. And as I'm doing that, I'm making stuff to do. So kind of defeats the purpose. There's our bounty from our cleanup. This place is very, very clean. It's just this was stuff that was off the cliff, like down there. So people don't pick it up. They threw it down there, they threw it down there, whatever. Some of this stuff's very old though. Like there's some like kind of pull top cans. I mean, that's been down there a long time. It's 8:30. The Grand Canyon tours are coming. And yeah, since we already called Sunbum, I'm gonna call Adams Realty. I'll bet that phone number doesn't work. But somebody's gone over that in Sharpie or paint more recently, that's for sure. For some reason, I tend to research things after the fact. Like if I buy a car or something like that, like I'll research it after I bought it. And a lot of times it's because I feel like if you don't get it, you're kind of wasting your time and whatever, which is really just backwards thinking. But I've never hung the hammock here from the tie downs on the plane before, and it works out really nice, but I guess I'll research afterwards if it's bad or not. There's Midas. But yeah, pretty good. I just moved it from the other side because the sun, so I get to hang out in the shade. Maybe take a nap. Pretty early still, but yeah, it's like 9 o'clock maybe. So there's a couple of these shallow mine shafts here. It's kind of concrete tops on them. There's another one right over here. It's got a kind of a trail going to it. Anybody know what these are for? Do you know, Midas? It's a public service announcement. If you have the foresight to bring toilet paper with you when you go hiking or out into nature, but not a trash bag, you're an asshole or an idiot. Pack your shit out. What's wrong? Nice. You want to play shadow puppets? There's a big Joshua tree. Check that guy out. The Joshua trees? Yuccas? I should know. I don't. Who's living in here? Something big. How tall that thing is. It's 10:30. Pierce Ferry. What are all these tires doing here? Well, I happen to know the answer to this question. Most of the questions I don't know the answer to. This is a old crosswind runway. You can kind of see the windsock way down there. And this was an old Army airfield, I believe. And so anytime a runway is out of commission or non-usable, you put big X's on them. And they chose to do this out of tires. So either end of this old crosswind runway is big X of tires. So from the air, you could see this big X. These tires are old. Did you know that the tires on your car have a date code on them? Not like an expiration, but like a born on date. Yeah, maybe I'll teach you something. So if you look at your tire, you'll see like a little small oval with 4 digits in it, or like a rectangle kind of thing. And the first 2 digits are the week of the year that the tires were made, and the second 2 are the year that the tires were made. And so, so if it's 4221, it means your tires were from the 42nd week, so probably sometime in October or something like that, of 2021. So it's good for when you're buying a vehicle, right? So you can see how old those tires are, because a lot of times, especially if you're looking at like trailer tires, normally the tread is, oh no, Midas, you stay there. Normally it's not the tread, it's the dry rot, the cracking and stuff. So it's always good to see. Anything over 5 years, recommend changing. There you go. Here's your fact of the day. Oh, sorry. What's a crosswind runway, you ask? So generally, runways are built in the direction of the prevailing wind. And in this case, I believe here at Pierce Ferry is 01 and 19. And so every airport has these 2 digits. And coincidentally, or by design, they're always 18 numbers apart. And the reason being is they're 180 degrees apart. So you always add a 0, and that would be your heading, as per the compass. So on 19, you're essentially landing in the direction of 190 degrees, which is just a little bit west of south, right? Because you're just past 180 degrees. Right? Never eat shredded wheat. North, east, south, west. You'd be amazed at how many people don't know direction. I mean, if you have a bad sense of direction, that's fine. I get it. But if you don't know, like if that's north, then what direction that is, you know what I mean? Like, you should be able to figure that out. Yeah, it's my 2 cents. So as you get near the cliffs, you'll find more of these fissures. Yeah, that's a big one here. There's the cliffs right over here. It's about 11 o'clock. Midas and I just went on a couple-mile hike around the kind of the rim of the canyon here on top of this mesa. So one thing I was kind of thinking about as I passed by the windsock, there was a few years ago I flew out here and the windsock was just shredded and gone. And so when you're flying, you want to land into the wind. Taking off, it's easy. You're on the ground, you can tell which direction the wind's coming from, but it's much harder when you're up in the air if there's not dust or trees or something like that. So I called Park Service and they changed the windsock, which was awesome. But I was thinking about it. So one thing that I think about, I don't know, like cliches or the proverbs like I keep talking about, but one of them is that I say to myself a lot and try to, fight myself on, because I've, kind of do the opposite, but it's an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. You ever heard that one? And, which is similar to like one of, is it Stephen Covey's, the 7 Habits, Successful People, is to begin with the end in mind. And the reason I was thinking this is, this is not the best example of it, but in changing the windsock up here, you're miles and miles and miles, from civilization, and it's just hard to get here by vehicle. And that windsock's 15 feet up in the air. And so do they bring like a long reach all-terrain forklift, with a semi and, to change a windsock? Or do you put a ladder up a pole, which is sketchy as hell if you've ever tried that? So no, you begin with the end in mind. And so they hinge the base of the windsock. So when this does happen, they're able to just unbolt that hinge, fold it down, and change the windsock. And to me, that's a good example of an ounce of prevention, which is just welding in that plate in the hinge, saves you hours and days and thousands of dollars of, or potentially bodily harm trying to get up this 15-foot pole to change a windsock. So, that's not a great example, because doing that is still a lot of work. But in life, most things, if you just take one extra second, it can save you a ton of time down the road. So, but it's hard to keep that insight and to remember that. So here's my thought for the hour. It's noon on Monday. This was a challenge. I failed it pretty bad today. There hasn't been any people here. It's not even close. I made 2 phone calls. Not to, I didn't. I don't know. Just because I was interested in making whatever stupid. Oh, here come the rafters back from Grand Canyon. Down there. Played chess with myself, taking the dog a walk a couple times, picked up some trash. Probably be here another couple hours maybe, then head back. It's much harder than you'd think. The other thing is I had just gotten out of GoPro, and I hadn't used a GoPro in like 4 years, or at least probably from the boat trip. And I was just putting it on the wing and trying to clear up some space on there. And then I realized now I'm watching videos and it's me and people and whatever. So it's all right. I guess I just got to do it again. Looks like a ranger. They're going pretty fast. All right, it's 2:15 on Monday. Just woke up from like about an hour-long nap, which is really nice in the hammock. And I was awoke by a nice cool breeze, which is so cool. Yeah, I just packed up, and as I'm getting ready to go, 2 cars pull up. It's a nice group of people from Clearwater, Florida, and they are. I'm just waiting for them. I think they come back here. No, maybe they're continuing on. So I'm just gonna take off. So that's it. It looks good, little breeze. Let's get out of here. So you can see I learned how to edit. Kind of. Still not great. Work in progress. Everything's a work in progress. Kind of why I did this in the first place, I guess. I'm glad I did it. It was a good time. It wasn't about getting away from people or anything like that. It was more just, again, trying to challenge myself like I have been in, I don't know, I keep coming up with different ways to try to, kind of just push myself a little bit, I guess. And so one thing that I've been finding was just spending a lot of time on this phone or on TV, on YouTube or whatever. And it's just a bad trend. And as I ask you to subscribe and watch more of YouTube as I'm trying to get away from it, I encourage you to try it for a day and just put your phone away and don't. But that's one thing, and you hear about that all the time. But the one thing that kind of stood out to me for this whole thing, and I guess one of the bigger takeaways for me was, and I think I talked about it a little bit earlier, was that I tried to find all these, what am I going to do? I'll bring this, I'll bring that, I'll do this, I'll learn to tie knots, I'll whatever. And that really all was defeating the purpose, because you can do that anywhere. The point was to just get away and to kind of just be with my thoughts. And that's a challenging thing to do, but it kind of brings focus to the point of like that we're in a constant state of distraction, always trying to just, it's like we do everything in our power to not think, really. I mean, if you think about what you do when you scroll, your mind it's mindless. And we do it all day, all the time. And when we're watching TV or whatever, it's really just turning off your mind. And so for me, it was very eye-opening to have myself entertain myself and to just be with my thoughts. And you could see it got a little wacky at night. And, it's just, whatever. But I still put it out there. All the Bigfoot and alien craziness and everything. So I'm still not editing any of this because I don't know how to edit little sections of clips and stuff, or I'm too lazy to learn it or whatever. I don't know, but it wasn't much to learn. I just had to try, I guess. And this stuff is all pretty intuitive, but it was a good 24 hours or so. Like I said, I do enjoy meeting people and spending time with people, and wasn't trying to get away from any of that at all. So it was nice to have those little encounters, but it did definitely bring me, not bring me down, but kind of slow me down a little bit to do this, which was nice. It's good to just kind of, collect yourself a little bit. And as you can see, I'm learning how to do a voiceover. I got the GoPro going again and stuck it on the plane. And I believe this is in 2 times speed right now. So my plane is not this fast, which this would be about 280 knots. And it's not. And look, the video's over. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you get something out of it. I certainly have, and that's why I'm doing it. So I will see you tomorrow.